And we're back. And hopefully, y'all can hear us this time. Technology, isn't it great? All right. Since y'all didn't hear my first introduction, I'm going to start over again. I'm Celtic to Nephew. You can call me Celtic. You can call me D. My pronouns are she, her, and it's my birthday. I really want to curse right now. And Moss Tavis says she could hear us. They could hear us. You can hear us, Moss, and I am glad. Izetta, I'm so happy to see you in the chat. Thank you for celebrating my birthday with me. Okay, this has been an exciting day, and let's just make it even better. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's introduce everybody. Jen, take it away.
Hi, my name is Jen. I go by they, them, and I've been gaming with D for a little over a year now. In my tabletop life, I tend to fall into the forever DM role, but D gives me a chance to actually be a player. I play Druid in D&D, and yes, I do bring my own wild shape stat blocks, but I also often forget to prepare my spells. I've had the privilege of playing Inang-Uri once already, and y'all are in for a treat.
Sam.
It's me, the best.
That's all we need.
I'm kidding. I'm Sam. I go by she, her pronouns, and I have been playing TTRPGs for about 10 years now. My favorite class to play is the Paladin, but if you could all please get back into my 10-foot radius, I would really appreciate it. Thanks. No, you're gonna charge into the bad guy ahead of me. The tank. Okay, fine. Be that way. Anyways, I have had the pleasure of playing Inang-Uri before, and I am hoping I get to be the traitor tonight. R.I.P. to the rest of you.
Wear it on your sleeve.
No.
Never trust Sam. All right, Eric.
Hello, I'm Eric. I go by he, him pronouns. I have also, with Jen, had the pleasure of gaming with D for about the same time, a little over a year. My tabletop expertise has gone back quite a ways. I've been playing in a couple of games with Jen, the aforementioned Forever DM nature of Jen. I am a very avid and enthusiastic player in Jen's games. Excellent worlds, excellent fun. Also, I love the sound of my own voice, and I have a lot of fun deliberately leaning into it when I'm able to, because a lot of people enjoy the newscaster kind of effect that I can put on it. Just because, when you get told that you sound like you belong on the news, you just kind of got to own it. Now, back to you, D.
Alrighty. In case you did not know, I don't know how you would know because I've been shouting it to anyone who will listen. We are raising money for Doctors Without Borders today. Unfortunately, I found out about the strike about an hour before go time, and I figured raising money might be better than striking. Maybe not. I don't know, but I'm a bad striker. Anyway, so we're going to raise money for Doctors Without Borders to help the people in Palestine and elsewhere. And we're doing it by playing Mameto's amazing game, The Marvelous Children of Inang-Uri. It's a fantastic game. Three of us in the group got to playtest it and really help her polish it, which was so much fun. Also, I get to play my best politician self in this game, and y'all just don't even know what's coming. But with that said, we have an amazing intro who the aforementioned news broadcaster is going to read for us.
Welcome to the children of Inang-Uri, where our destiny unfolds atop a dying, godlike titan, Inang-Uri. Picture her as a massive celestial garden, now at the brink of collapse. The choice is ours. Rescue our faltering protector, or navigate the uncharted paths of her demise. In this world of conflicting factions and pivotal decisions, every move we make weaves the fabric of our future. Are you ready to shape this epic narrative? Will you be the savior or the harbinger of a new era? Let's dive in and find out where our choices take us in the wondrous tale of Inang-Uri.
Celtic, I do believe you are muted.
I am because
Okay.
dogs. Sam, would you like to be our first faction leader?
Oh, of course I would.
Awesome. I figured you would. So in Inang-Uri, you have factions. We get to kind of decide. We roll to see who actually gets to be what our chimera is like, and all that fun stuff. And I totally had everything prepared before I needed to restart the computer. And now I need to vamp until I find it again.
Well, in that case, I have an excellent idea. The three of you all have played this before, it sounds like. I didn't actually mention that during my little spiel. I haven't. So, for a quick breakdown, from my understanding, we're about to get to demonstrate some art skills. Can somebody, perhaps Sam, perhaps Jen, elaborate and explain to Eric, the newbie, what it is that we'll be doing?
Okay, so you remember in kindergarten when you and your friends would be like, let's draw a castle together, and then you all like added stuff onto the castle, and then there was always that one kid that was like, I'm gonna put a giant candy cane on the castle, or some other nonsense like that. That's gonna be me.
Inflatable slide out off one of the battlements. That was me. The inflatable bouncy castle
Perfect.
slide.
So Inang-Uri is gonna have a giant candy cane, because 'tis the season, and an inflatable slide, because why not? It sounds like an excellent idea. Honestly, if we end up soaring through the air on the back of a giant turtle, I want an inflatable slide. Emergency inflatable slide for the giant floating turtle. If it's a turtle, we don't know. We're gonna roll to find out.
Awesome.
I
Yes.
have my comically large dice for that.
Perfect. I have the setup page now, unless
Aha.
someone else did.
Hmm?
Nope. Awesome. I need 2d6s, please. Eric, if you could roll that comically large dice. What is the first die?
That was a 6 for the first die.
6. Amazing.
And
And what is the second die?
Another 6.
Okay.
Are doubles
Ooh,
good?
2 6s.
Double sixes. Wow.
Okay. So the head of our Inang-Uri will be an owl. Eric, if you'd like to, or whoever would like to start drawing that. Jen, could you roll me 2 more d6s, please?
I can't. A 4 and a 3.
A 4 and a 3. The body is going to be a salmon. Technically, we rolled a falcon, but that's too close to owl, and I like salmon better. So it's my birthday, and I say so.
All right. Eric, are you drawing us an owl head?
I
Yes, you are.
am.
Excellent. I'll draw us a little salmon body.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I said I was drawing with my mouse like everybody else.
Jen is our graphic designer. They did all the amazing overlays and beginning screens and end screens and our break screen. Jen is effing amazing. And you should all hire them.
I am incredibly pleased with my owl head. And
You know what? Actually, it's not bad. I see it. I get it.
Duolingo is ashamed that they didn't hire me
Oh no.
for their mascot.
And I didn't do my lesson either. I'm in trouble.
Well,
Better
This
go
is who
learn Spanish now.
Duolingo. Yeah. This is who Duolingo sends
oh no.
when you haven't done your lesson. This is Duolingo's true form. That's why we only ever see the head.
Oh no. This stream is not currently sponsored by Duolingo, but if they're listening, our inbox is open.
I
I
really,
promise I'll do my Spanish lesson.
I used to use Duolingo all the time. I really, really liked it actually, because it would make you say really silly things like, "The horse drinks oil," or something like it would be really random stuff, and you'd be like, "This sentence makes no sense," but I remember it.
Similar to the whole thing about making a password a weird nonsensical phrase like correct horse battery staple. Thank you, XKCD. That was what I was referencing. They've got a whole long comic about like different characters and password varieties and stuff like that. And that was one of the first examples in one of the first panels they give. And then at the last one, they say, by the way, you've already remembered correct horse battery staple. You're never going to forget that as a password.
Amazing. Cool. Alrighty.
When do I get to add the candy cane?
Soon.
Well, whenever it makes sense. Okay.
I'm
So
being
the drawing's done.
respectful.
Sam.
Yes.
Well, actually, each one of us are going to roll a d4. Who wants to be considered number one?
Me.
I was going to say, I volunteer Sam for it. It seems appropriate.
I volunteer as tribute.
This is especially funny because Sam was in my actual play with Izetta, who's in the chat. Hi, Izetta. And Jen and Eric both watched it, and they know more about Sam's style of play than Sam does about theirs. So it's gonna
We're
be fun.
mysterious.
We have
Insider knowledge. It's okay.
Mhm.
I like a challenge.
Alright.
Alrighty.
So we're rolling d4s.
Sam's rolling first, I believe.
No, d6s. We just need
Oh,
4
six?
d6s.
We need
Oh.
4 d6s.
Oh,
I got my numbers confused.
I have
So,
one.
so
I'm
we
gonna
need 4 total.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
1 from each of you.
Gotcha.
okay.
1 from each of us. Okay. And are we going clockwise or counterclockwise? Jen, give me an answer.
Clockwise.
Cool. Sam, what's your number?
3.
All right. Write this down. Inang-Uri is a teenager.
Love
Oh,
that for
rebellion time.
us.
Right?
A
Oh,
teen mom.
Snakey! Thank you for the donation, Snakey. Other people have donated too, but I didn't see them all pop up. Whoops. Jen, what is your number?
2.
2. Ooh. Our habitat is underground, which is interesting for a part owl, part salmon.
Does it hang upside down from the ceiling?
My number is 4, which means Inang-Uri's diet is time. And Eric, what is your number?
2.
2. This actually makes a little bit of sense. Inang-Uri's oddity is that she has no eyes. So someone's going to need to erase those eyes.
Oh. I'm sorry, Inang-Uri. There they go.
Let's just blind our mother while we're at it.
That makes it so much more distressing, though. It's like, oof. It's creepy. I love it.
Alrighty. We need 3 more D6s. Who's the first? Who's the fastest to create the roll a D6?
4.
4.
It fell off my desk.
Well, that doesn't count. All right, 4.
I'll be right back.
The civilization, that is us, our civilization, inhabits Inang-Uri so that we can protect ourselves against dangerous creatures.
This time it stayed on the desk. It was a 2.
2. The civilization's primary shaping force for development is magic. And Sam, did you roll a d6 or do I need to do it?
I did. It's a 1.
1. Awesome. And the greatest threat to civilization is religion. It's going to be that kind of stream, folks. Just going to say it right now. It's going to be that kind of stream. That's so much fun. Okay. So oh, Snicky, I heart you so much. Okay. Apologies. True venom. You are truly venomous. In that way, that means you're really fun. Okay. So now we are going to unfold the truths of our civilization. Each one of us will contribute 2 details about our civilization that, we have this so far. Cool. So it can interlink with some of these or add something extra. Sam, as our first faction leader, why don't you go ahead and go first?
What do I have to do? Am I doing something? Am I explaining my faction? What do we?
We're not on factions yet. We are explaining our known truths. These are things that the whole civilization knows. We're going to go clockwise around the table. Each player contributes 2 details about the civilization.
Got
This
it.
can include traditions, taboos, social classes, the magic we use, our natural resources. Complete freedom here. Have fun with it.
Okay. So, Inang-Uri does live underground now, but that doesn't mean this is where they always lived. In fact, there are traces of Inang-Uri's original home in her feathers. Her feathers are this very deep purple color, and there's starlight trapped within them. And the second thing there is that that is the source of the magic for Inang-Uri. That is how we get our magic. That is how we power everything within our city.
Ooh, I like it. All right. So are those your 2?
Those are my 2.
Awesome. Jen?
There are different types of magic, and each child discovers what their source of magic is soon after they turn 10. There's gravity-based magic, radiant-based magic, space manipulation, just several different types of magic that kids just manifest. And kids are sent to different schools to master their specific style of magic.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. When Inang-Uri lived amongst the stars, where she was born, before coming underground, the reason we had to come underground is, of course, the gods. There are other creatures like Inang-Uri, and they happen to be hunted prey for the gods, food to eat. But for us, she is our life. And So it's not just religion that we tend to not think kindly on the gods and those who worship them, as they chased us out of our starlit strewn home. And then something else. Inang-Uri has no eyes because she uses echolocation. She didn't need eyes in I'm assuming space. She didn't need eyes in space because she could swim through the stars based on vibes, but underground she uses echolocation. All right, Eric, it's your turn.
So, despite the fleeing from the gods that were feasting upon Inang-Uri and her kin, um, there are, of course, those outliers of society who don't always seem to have what's best for everybody in mind, or see a path to power and greatness that they can attach themselves to. And they devote themselves to Inang-Uri with a cult-like devotion bordering on religion. And this is that seedy undercurrent where we have this opposition to the gods, to the deities, because of the threat that they pose. But there are also people that are like, but what if we made Inang-Uri a god? And these people will oftentimes use magic to ritually blind themselves but still be able to see, so they can try to become closer to Inang-Uri.
Oh. Okay. That's awesome. All right. So step 5. We are each the master of our own faction. We can define the following of our faction. So we need a name and a 3-sentence overview of your faction, like describing what the role is in civilization and what makes it unique or odd. And then also we can draw a flag and where your faction lives on Inang-Uri. So as we think and vamp a little,
I do have an idea. So, let's see here. There's... Yeah.
Sorry again. Sorry, y'all.
I want to hear what Eric and Jen are going to do before I decide. Is that allowed? Am I allowed to do that, or do I have to go first?
I mean, you don't have to go first. We can all just kind of decide on our own. But yeah, we can talk about it. Let's. What are you thinking? What is everybody thinking?
I'm thinking one of the magic schools, maybe the College of Radiance.
Oh.
And I'm going for a specific cast of mages who specialize in time magic.
Ooh. To feed Inang-Uri?
Yes.
You know what? I'm a person of the people. I will be part of the people who keep Inang-Uri's feathers clean and get the collect the starlight.
I was sketching my flag, and I think we got some overlap, so watch out for that.
We can just move stuff.
Okay. I don't know how to move my flag that I drew.
I know you can move the post-it notes pretty easily. All right, Sam, is that enough information for you?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the Sisters of Starlight, a silent faction dedicated to finding new technology for harvesting the starlight safely and efficiently. So working closely with your faction, Celtic. But also because they are more of a like kind of science-y guild faction, they're also going to work fairly closely with the schools, I believe.
All right. There we go. So for the people at home, if you were one of the great factions on Inang-Uri, who would you represent? Why does Inang-Uri have a hat?
Oh, that's the College of Radiance.
That's beautiful. Okay. Actually, we're gonna go for purple for our. Moss says, "I have no idea what are the options, but the one that has a giant fluffy animal companion." I mean, that could
We'll
have
work
been.
it in. We'll work it in.
That's. I mean, the fun of this game is there a faction all about eating cookies. That would be mine. Thanks, Jen.
You know, these are good suggestions. Honestly, I will take suggestions moving forward. If you want to suggest something you would like to see and happen in the game, I will try to work it in.
We all will. Well, I will also. I need to draw a flag. This is the part that I'm not usually.
What do you mean? There's no such thing as a bad flag.
Yeah, I was kind of going for a hourglass with a clock behind it.
Is that what? Very nice, very nice.
Move yours into the stream area, Eric. Ah, heck.
Oh, I can also. Ooh. Oh, not that one. I can do this. I'm gonna make that stream area just a little bit smaller. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. That's funny. I can draw on the map from within OBS.
That's funny.
Cool.
That is an interesting interaction, but that's also cool. I like that. Anyways.
I forgot how to use this. So, cookies made of starlight. What? Oh.
Ooh.
And true venom. What kind of what kind of serpents would you have? Tell us about your serpents. Are they a good witch or a bad witch? Cosmic star serpents. Ooh, that sounds interesting.
If they're star serpents, that means that they could also be magic.
Mm-hmm. That's terrible. Oh, this is awful. This is awful.
That's the charm.
Yeah.
I love how Jen's it's like they're trying to convince themselves.
Don't take this from me.
It's supposed to be a feather. It kind of looks like a feather.
It looks like a feather.
It looks like a feather. Man, y'all are making your flags look so cool, and I'm just like, black and white, here we go. 3 lines, done.
Thank you, Z. They whisper secrets. The cosmic star serpents are the noblest of beings, and they whisper secrets.
Secrets.
I usually do what Sam does and use like the shapes. Almost all my flags have been like, how can I put a shape within a shape within a shape? Black and white can be
Here
classic.
I am, just scribbling with my mouse.
And it's beautiful. It's funny. You know, I went out of my way to stream everywhere, and I'm pretty sure everybody's just in YouTube. I don't think anybody's watching anywhere else, but that's okay. We did
It
the
says
thing.
we have 4 people on Twitch. Hello, Twitch.
I
Oh.
I think it's the 4 of us.
Oh, is it?
No, I'm not there.
I'm not
Oh.
there.
Ooh,
We got people.
I got 2 people on Twitch. Hi, Twitch. And a Twitch, and you can. I did this thing where you can hit exclamation point and write in donate, and it gives you the Tiltify link for the to donate to Doctors Without Borders. Fire 19. I know who that is. You made
I
it to
don't.
Twitch? That's so exciting. And also, if you go exclamation point game, it will give you the link to buy this game for you and your friends and family to play at home. This is a lot of fun, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. Drawing your own like faction and Inang-Uri is one of the best parts of this game. It's really fucking cool. It's freaking cool. It's been more than 10 minutes. We're fine. I hope no one's brought their children.
I see a crybaby in the background for Jen.
Oh, yeah, he's
Oh.
kind of a perpetual child.
Yes,
Poor little Max.
yes, he is.
I'm not letting him interrupt, but he's lurking.
Jen! Go College of Radiance! Thank you very much. Is that the Jen on screen or is that the Jen in chat?
Mystery.
The world may never know.
Well, Fayfire19, if that's your real name. I appreciate you being here. Also in Twitch, if you type !charity, it'll give you the name of the charity. So you can click at the link, find out more about all the amazing things that Doctors Without Borders does. Now, how is everyone doing? Are we ready to introduce our factions? Because I'm just really just vamping until everybody's ready. Yes.
I think I've got a couple things put together for mine.
All right. If everyone's ready, we can go around in a circle. Sam, do you want to start as our first faction leader, or do you want to end?
That's up to you. I can do either. Do you want me to start? I can start. I don't mind starting. I love starting. I love being first.
Yeah.
My cats disagree. But who cares about them? I'm bigger. Okay, so we've got the Sisters of Starlight. Are we rolling for things right now, or just like basically going over the generals?
Just the generals.
Okay, so they're a silent faction. They wear like white kind of lab coats, but not really lab coats, more like structured robes, I guess you would say. But they have the appearance of lab coats. And for the most part, they keep to themselves. They're working very, very hard to ensure that we are getting the most starlight possible out of Inang-Uri without doing any damage to Inang-Uri, hopefully. That is the goal, to be as efficient and progressive as possible and to get us, propel us into the future.
Awesome. Jen, let's keep going clockwise.
I represent the College of Radiance. We are in a top hat shaped school that sits on the top of Inang-Uri's head. We take in Radiance aligned children at the age of 10, and we teach them radiant, fire, and related magics. We wear bright blue uniform robes with a sun crest on the chest, and we work with the Starlight Collectors to help fuel and maintain our magic.
Fantastic. All right. Oh, it's me. Yeah. So, we don't have a fancy name. We're the Starlight Collectors and the Feather Cleaners. The Salt of the Earth type people. Or, Starlight of the Feathers. As these things may be. We keep Inang-Uri clean. We, work with the sisters to make sure that we can collect the starlight used for our magical factions, to make sure we use it safely. It is, however, a limited resource, whether or not everyone wants to believe us. It's hard to get more starlight when you're underground. So we do our best to maintain and only use what we need, working in concert with the sisters, and trying to help our magical factions. Eric.
The Chronomancers, knowing that Inang-Uri subsists upon time itself, are working out ways of how to generate of getting concentrated time for Inang-Uri to sustain herself with. Finding ways of taking the time from something that is measured in eons, the stone that we navigate past in the underground, perhaps, can be swept clean of its time and turned to dust where it stands in our path. And the future that it would have had can be brought to be fed to an Inang-Uri. With time magic being time magic, there's all kinds of shenanigans about, is this the current head of the guild, or is this the future head of the guild, or is this the past head of the guild, or is this all three of them at the same time? Is it the same person? Is the guild head getting younger? What's going on? Not really sure. Weird experiments happen there, and we're not exactly sure if every room in their guild hall is traveling through time in the same direction that the rest of it is.
That sounds fun.
They also sell cookies.
Fantastic. Alrighty. So our next step is the one Sam has been waiting for with beta. Everyone take your D6. And this is a secret roll. You do not tell us the answer. You roll your D6. If it is a 1, you are a traitor. In order for you to win the game, Inang-Uri must die. Everyone roll your D6s, please.
It stayed on the table this time.
Congratulations.
I have like this much space clear for throwing my dice.
Get a dice tray.
Show off.
See? Jen's the smart one.
Jen's also the one that actually DMs in person, too.
Yeah, I dropped a d20 on the floor once. It was shameful.
I have like 3
Yeah,
dice
I'm not
trays,
doing that.
and I don't play in person. Silly. That's because I have a Kickstarter problem. Cookies. Alrighty. So now we know who the traitor is, or don't.
We even got one.
We are playing with the quick start version of this game. The longer version can go, 5 to 6 hours, break it into a couple of sessions or one long rainy Saturday. I agree wholeheartedly that this would be a lot of fun with like a huge pad of paper and markers, or one of those Chess X mats. I was thinking that would be really cool. You can all draw on that. A lot of fun for people of all ages, as you will soon see, because not everyone has to go into their full political mode. But I'm me. So, we're going to play across 2 generations because this is a quick start instead of the normal 4. And let me find my cheat sheet. Okay, so our communal pool during the quick start. Where's my quick start rolls? Yep.
2 resources.
2 resources. Thank you. I knew it wasn't the 4 that I'm reading here. I suppose I could use the table of contents to find the quick start rules. That might be smart. Okay.
I have it here for the cheat sheet if you'd like.
I found it.
Okay.
I was meant to print this out, but I had to actually work at work. It was
On your birthday?
yeah.
Rude.
Although, okay,
Rude.
my coworkers are so amazing. They got me a cake, a potted plant, a balloon. Oh, my balloon! A balloon and a gift card. And it was so wonderful. And they sang to me. And then we all ate cake before I left for work. It was so lovely. I'm gonna go get my balloon. So Sam, I'm gonna put you in charge while I get my
Sam.
balloon. Love the face. Love the face.
I don't do being in charge. I do being a brat to the person in charge.
Time for a
So
role reversal.
as,
Aha!
as the person in charge, I declare that.
Teacher, I have a question.
Oh my gosh! Please ask me a question.
We're doing quick start. We have 2 resources because there's only 3 to 4 players. What exactly do we get to do with resources?
All sorts of wonderful things. I'm so glad you asked. So one of the things you can do with resources is steal them.
Oh,
That is the most important thing you can do with resources. And I'm not lying at all. Not even a little bit. I have never told a lie in my life, in fact.
Absolutely not.
Awesome. So, all right. Since when I said you were in charge, I meant you could get us on the path to the next step. But that's okay.
That was on
I'm
you,
back now.
honestly.
I'm back now. All right. So, we will have no faction scenarios in the quick game. All right. So, step 1, reset the communal pool, which we did, right? Did someone write? Yes. Communal pool has 2. Awesome. The world scenario is determined by the most prestigious faction, or in this case, Sam. Because we've already decided Sam goes first, which is a great
that
thing to
format.
do with the trader, by the way.
It would be a great thing to do with the trader, indeed. But who could say if that's a thing? Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
World generation, creative. No, I'm too far down. Ba-ba-ba-ba. The world scenario is determined. Okay, so how do I do that? Do I have to roll? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I think so.
2d6.
2d6. Let's roll them d6s.
There we are.
A 5 and a 6. We're in generation 1. First roll is odd, so we're in this one. First roll is odd, second is 6. Old values and tradition stifle progress and innovation.
too real.
Well. Back again. Alrighty, so yeah, we've got old values and tradition stifle progress and innovation. Do I need to say things about this? I believe. Let's see, where's my cheat sheet? It just says determined. Each faction shares 2 details about the world scenario. So 2 details about old values and traditions stifling progress and innovation. So these cultists that are trying to make Inang-Uri into a god have been causing a lot of problems for the Starlight Sisters. They are out here trying to do science and minding their own business, staying in their lane, and they're being thwarted. There is, petty vandalism going on, but setting experiments back by weeks or months, or in some cases years. And there also seems to be a new cult happening that is not necessarily new, but has resurfaced. And it was a cult that we all thought we had kind of dealt with and put to bed generations ago. And now there's whispers that they're up and running again. And yeah, they're up to no good, especially towards this science focused faction, the Starlight Sisters.
Huh. All right, Jen.
The cult is also lobbying to have any spell books related to fire magic taken out of the College of Radiance's school.
Ooh.
No fiery magic allowed.
I mean, kind of makes sense. Is it two things or one thing?
Two things.
Two things.
What's your other one, Jen?
And they are also calling for more oversight on all of the magic schools. They're forming a committee and reviewing basically everything all the magic schools do.
Interesting. Um. Exactly, Jen. Exactly.
Yeah,
All right.
Can't bake cookies.
Can I do it?
Those bastards.
Okay, so my two things. Raw cookie dough is the new craze. However, some of the older folks are against it. They say you're going to get sick. You're going to get salmonella. It's a terrible thing. There's all kinds of talk about how we need cooked cookies and therefore we need fire magic. It seems like maybe the whole cookie thing is a straw man argument, but cookies are delicious, cooked or raw, so maybe not. Let's say the second one, snakes have been found living amongst the feathers. Cosmic serpents that I guess we picked up when we were still in space. But they're starting to with no natural predators, they're starting to overpopulate themselves.
Sounds like some fire magic would be real handy to take care of them.
Sure would be, but we can't do it.
Yep. Not allowed.
Not allowed.
Rude.
All right, Eric. You get two.
So, one of the fun quirks about this, I love this particular scenario popping up because I feel like that one just fell directly into my lap here for me to play with. Remember how I said that there was this confusion about whether or not some of the actual chambers travel through time in the correct way? Well, somebody comes stepping out of one of them and claims to be the headmaster of the Chronomancer Guild from the future. And he's having a hard time understanding why we're doing things the way we are. And he says, that's not how it's always been done. And everybody responds, well, hang on. What do you mean? How it's always been done to you should be how we're doing it right now. What are you talking about? So we're not actually sure if this guy came from the future like he said he did, or if he came from the past and thinks he came from the future. So there's a lot of gridlock happening while all the chronomancers try to figure it out. There's too much time magic swirling around that nobody can really get a feel for future, present, past. Where did this guy come from? So gridlock has locked everything up. While everybody is trying to puzzle out exactly how were things done back in the old days. And the restriction on fire magic, surprisingly enough, did not actually affect many of the bakers in the Chronomancers Guild because they weren't using fire magic. They were just using ovens, like actual proper ovens that they got from their friends in the science over at the Sisters of Starlight, who apparently actually don't really like them. So, like, was there some subterfuge or did they just buy it? We're not sure. We'll figure that out. But there's also
generations to get confused about that.
Oh, and the Chronomancers are great about having cross-generational confusion because they've got that for every generation. Let's see. And then the second thing for this particular world state scenario.
I feel like that was two. I mean, you can come up with another one if you want, because you had like the dude coming back and then like the cookies with the ovens, or was the cookies like a joke?
That was kind of a joke.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, hey, we got.
I mean, but you also did mention that you got the ovens from the sisters, which means the sisters create ovens. which is a fact that can be added. However, if you want to add another one, you feel free.
The sisters focus on science and technology and innovation and whatnot rather than using magic. The chronomancers aren't, zero sum. They don't think it's one or the other. They're like, hey, cool, you got something that lets us make cookies without having to cast fire magic? Cool, hook us up. We love cookies over here. Um, However, there is one weirdo that has been trying to experiment with using some time magic to maybe take the past out of a lump of cookie dough to get it to push itself into the future form where it's already baked to just entirely skip the oven and the fire process. We'll get back to that later, though.
Or will we get back to that before now?
Alrighty.
Possibly.
That's a lot. That's a whole lot.
It's cookie magic.
Cookie magic. Amazing. So, our next step. Inang-Uri's mood is determined. All right, so it's it's 1d6. Jen, would you like to roll a d6 for us?
I can.
In your dice tray?
Yes, in my dice tray.
Show
That
off.
is a 6.
A 6. Ooh. Okay, so at our current state of events, Inang-Uri's mood seems inscrutable. Can't quite grasp how she is actually feeling.
The lack of eyes makes it hard to get a feel for the emotions on the face.
All right, Jen, could you please answer the following question for us? What does your faction think? Or what do your faction, what do they think about this? Why Inang-Uri is being inscrutable now? I've always known what she meant. And what does that have to do with the world scenario?
Inang-Uri understands that all of her children want the best for her. And she's feeling conflicted about how everyone's arguing at the moment. She wants to understand everyone's point of view. So she's just kind of figuring it out.
Very cool. Thank you to that anonymous donor, by the way. I appreciate that $25 donation to Doctors Without Borders. Love it. Sorry if I'm not responding to all of them because I'm juggling a lot, but this is fun. Okay. Eric, please share with us how your faction witnesses the mood's manifestation across Inang-Uri.
So the chronomancers are based typically between the beak and the gills, which is something I never thought would be something I would say. They don't typically have like the best vantage point to get a read for most all of Inang-Uri's like body language as Inang-Uri travels onward. But they get reports from people. They get reports from the future, from the past. And they try to kind of correlate it and track it like it's the weather, sort of. If the weather was more accurate and able to be properly predicted over the course of, weeks and months and whatnot. And after they come to realize that Inang-Uri is kind of withdrawn into herself and isn't really responding a whole lot, just kind of keeping to themselves, they're like, we're in this era. And then nobody elaborates on what exactly they mean by this era, because they're still kind of arguing about what that actually means amongst themselves before they can actually answer when somebody else asks them what the hell they mean by that. But ultimately, they see it as just another season another era in the march of time.
Ah, yes.
Their approach to it is, this too shall pass. It will pass. It has passed. It is passing.
Amazing. So good. Alrighty. So normally we would roll for faction scenarios at this point, which just adds an extra layer. But we are going to skip that. And we're
Quick
actually
play.
going quick play. And we're actually going to take a quick 10-minute break so that everyone can refill their drinks, have a bio. You know, if you're sitting, get up and move around. If you're standing, I don't know, sit down. I don't know. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes, barring any more technical difficulties. And I hope to see you all in a little bit. Thank you so much. We are already at $130. So I thank you all for donating. This is amazing. And I love you all so much. So we will. Hello, everyone. We are back. Fires were had, drinks were refilled, dogs were fed. Next up, sorry. Next up, we are going to create a community faction. A community project. And this is a project that we all can work on together. And everyone who donates to it will receive points at the end as long as we succeed. As our most prestigious faction leader, the Starlight Sisters get to go first.
Right, yes. So I do believe we actually have to host a roundtable discussion. So the Starlight Sisters, they will call for a kind of town hall meeting, a congressional gathering of sorts. But because they do not really speak, they hand out written reports that are filled with data that maybe is completely useless to the other factions. Um, and they just kind of stand there quietly as the factions will read over all of the data. And because the Fair Serpent did leave, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is about harvesting starlight from the serpents. So we have concluded that yes, while the process isn't necessarily the cleanest, we don't have the facilities for it, we have discovered that we can farm starlight from the serpents. And I will say, to keep things nice and light, that we're doing it without killing them. So we are trying to domesticate these starlight serpents.
Okay.
And
So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so if it's a roundtable discussion and we can just kind of go every which way for this, I feel like the chronomancers are going to want to try to see if there's some kind of experiment they can do with these serpents that maybe the sisters wouldn't really agree with because it might not be fully humane. They want to go ahead and advance one of these serpents' timelines along and see if its death process and decay involves it converting to starlight, and if that's a better point to harvest starlight off of them versus just trying to get little bits and pieces off throughout their life cycle. But that's their approach to it. That's their idea. They're like, well, sure, that can work at small scales, but what if we had a way to keep these things from trying to eat us or eat parts of Inang-Uri and also get some really potent resources from them at the same time? So that's the Chronomancer's approach to it. Fast forward a serpent's life cycle and then get all the starlight when it's at its most potent.
Yeah, at this, the Silent Sisters are like, at first, they all kind of like just stare at you as a collective group, not saying anything. And then they get into a bit of a huddle where they're like murmuring, and you can like hear the sound of like a calculator going off, and some typing and some scribbling and some like very whispered like arguments. Or not arguments, we'll say like debates happening amongst the sisters. And then like as a collective block, they all straighten and look back at you and shake their heads.
Chronomancers are kind of like, all right, whatever.
The College of Radiance supports domesticating the serpents and learning to extract starlight. We think that it will be very helpful, particularly for teaching our students how to harness that starlight and cast spells with it. Our students' magic is innate and a very important part of them. And we believe they need to learn how to control and make use of every aspect of that magic. So we would like to use some of the starlight that's been harvested to teach our kids fire magic.
Yeah, so at that, the Starlight Sisters, they all in like one big collective give like a very curt nod.
An older man steps up in overalls, stained white shirt. Steps up, see that his skin is very very pale, but almost seems to like sparkle, just from being around the starlight so much and so long, harvesting it, that it almost kind of absorbed into his pores. He holds his hat in his hands as he steps up to speak. He says, "Well, now these serpents they've been causing a heap load of trouble, and we think domesticating them might help, but we do need to uh, thin their numbers a fair bit. There's causing lots of problems. I'm not sure that starlight is something that innate with them versus being picked up from the feathers, and well, there's ornery folks, so I think it'd take a whole lot of work to try and get what you need out of them. But their numbers do need to be culled."
And this is where the chronomancers come clamoring back to the front again, and they say, but we can help with that. Using their time magic, they can, as they had already suggested, fast forward any number of the aggressive ones, and any that seem more docile, they will leave them be, so that way they can kind of be selectively thinned the aggressive ones out, kind of harvesting starlight from the ones that are being culled, and also accelerating the act of domesticating the ones that remain by selecting for the docile ones, and then possibly finding a way to, with those ones, also fast forwarding their progeny into becoming more and more domesticated, short-circuiting the whole, it takes 8 or 9 generations of crossbreeding foxes to make white foxes or something like that, except in this case, serpents that don't try to eat your face off. And that would be their suggestion with that information.
So at this, there's like another kind of like long stare at the chronomancers from the Starlight Sisters. And then again, like very quickly, they kind of like into themselves, and there's a bunch of clicking and a bunch of like and a bunch of like but and,
Some dial-up noises.
some dial-up noises, and then there's like a hand shoots up from like the middle of the group, and it gets passed along through the sisters until a very short one that looks maybe no more than actually 10. As she gets closer, she like runs over to the lead chronomancer and like hands out this piece of paper. And on it basically says, "Do you have any data to support your claim?"
The head chronomancer turns around, points at one of the other chronomancers that's dressed a little bit differently from the majority of them. They don't really have like a uniform per se, but they do have kind of like, all of them have some kind of a timepiece on them, be it a small hourglass and a pendant, a wristwatch, a sundial on a wristwatch kind of a thing. Some of them have like these like weird crystal array nonsense that seems to vibrate and oscillate somehow. And all these things are assumed to be something to do with time. But anyways, he picks out one guy that has like some very unusual fashion compared to the rest of them, and calls him over and kind of mutters with him. "You're from the future. What do you think? How did this play out?" And the guy's like, "Well, wasn't really paying a lot of attention. I helped out mostly with construction and stuff. They put a pile of materials there, and I make it go faster, and suddenly it's a house instead of taking a week and a half to make. But there wasn't like a scourge of serpents or anything at the time, though, so I guess it works. And so the head chronomancer says, "Good enough," and turns around back to the young silent sister and says, "Yes, we do."
And she
God.
just kind of like, oh, go ahead.
He says, "Kind of."
So she just kind of looks up at you and then is like quiet and then like, where is it? Give it to me.
This guy, go with them. Tell them there's no scourge of serpents in the future that you came from. Go on.
So like the girl kind of like eyes the main chronomancer that she's been dealing with and then like looks at the guy who looks like he's dressed funny and then looks back at you and looks at the guy and looks back at you and then looks back at the sisters and they're all like and so she grabs him by the hand and like drags him off towards the sisters and immediately they kind of like engulf him like again like really quickly like as like a single unit and there's like all this typing and like more calculating and like whispered debates amongst themselves and whatnot and that goes on for a little while and then they like eject him like he's he's just like shoved out of like their little like glob of like stark white robes and like he kind of like stumbles out and I guess heads back over to you guys and then after like a minute about another minute of them debating they like as a unit turn back and just give you a very curt nod.
The chronomancers are in.
Behind the leader, the headmistress of the College of Radiance, a group of students, 10, 12-year-old kids, have taken like 8 pieces of poster board and drawn a long snake across them, and they're standing in line and holding it up.
Oh my goodness.
Point of order: the chronomancer that is from the future looks like Zlad of Electronic Supersonic fame. He's got like the single piece reflective wraparound shades and like the big poofy hair, and it looks like he's wearing like a windbreaker made out of aluminum foil. What the 80s thought the future would look like. That's how he's dressed. And he has like 6 watches on one hand. Guy has just the weirdest fashion. He claims that it'll be in vogue though. Just wait, it'll come in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, so at this, the sisters like draw up a new document with new data points, which they're very like when you read this document, it is very clear on like every page in bold red font that they are not happy about the data source and feel that it was incredibly unreliable and quite honestly needs to be checked, like what's it called, like peer reviewed. But because like things are escalating out of hand and the Silent Sisters want everybody to be on the same page and let's just tackle this together rather than separately and avoid confrontation and get down to the science, they are willing to move forward for now. But actually, if anything, and this is noted at the very end of the report, this entire situation has made the Silent Sisters a little more wary of the chronomancers, because they don't seem to actually know what they're talking about. It feels very much like they are just pulling things out of somewhere, and the sun doesn't shine anywhere because we're underground, but yeah. They're not shy about sharing in very direct and academic terms that they do not trust. this source, but they are willing to move forward. So it is done. This is the community project. We are moving forward with the Chronomancer's plan to hyper accelerate the aggressive snakes, if I remember correctly,
Yes, basically.
to get them, like, see if we can harvest the starlight from them at like their most peak point. But in the process, we do kill them, and we are leaving the more docile snakes to see if we can domesticate them and harvest the starlight without killing them.
Yeah, sustainably.
Sustainably. Okay. So that is going to be the community project.
Okay.
Or communal project? Whatever the word is. Something.
Primary
Something.
community project is what
That's-
the sheet says.
All right. The primary community project. Okay.
Alrighty. So we have our communal project. And then we go into our initiatives. Phase 2. This is a lot. Okay, so.
Over and
Mm-hmm. No, wait. Yeah, phase 2. All right, so all our factions receive resources. Someone have the quick start rules ready for them.
Yes, so 4 resources for 3 to 4 players. That is what we're at, is 4 players. So 4 resources. Factions gain an additional 1 resource for each successful faction project they have and lose 1 resource for each adversity they have. I think with the way that we're doing the quick start thing, we're not doing that last part though.
No, we're not doing any no, you can make faction resources, faction projects are fine. It's the faction scenarios, which is a little bit different. It's like, you know how we had the world scenario?
Yeah.
We would also get to roll, and each faction would have an additional scenario that would conflict with each other and the world scenario or coincide with.
Gotcha.
Which really makes it for the full version of the game, it's super vibrant. It's really awesome.
I see the charts for that now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool.
Cool. Alrighty. So, so for the quick start, we're still doing the 4 resources, right?
For quick start, it says 2 resources in the communal pool. But I believe then it says for the projects, each faction gets their own pool. And for the number of players we have, it's 4 resources.
Cool. All right. Awesome. So, everybody can mark down your resources. And then your list of actions. So on our quick start guide, list all your actions that you can take, which really helps. So you can create a faction project, which is separate from the communal pool. Name a project, give it a purpose and impact. What is this project all about? And you can draw the project on Inang-Uri. You can create a community project. This is an addition to the one we already have. So this is the main one, and then this would be a secondary one. A faction project would only benefit the faction. A community project should help the whole community. And you can spark a discussion. You can explore the world. So exploring the world is sharing 2 new details about the world scenario or 1 new detail about Inang-Uri. As a result of the research that your faction has done. And when you spark a discussion, this is when I shine as a politician. this is where we can try to get other people to our side, because anybody can donate to the communal project, a secondary community project, and a faction project. So if you want to spark a discussion to get other people to vote your way, they can. I will say we do go in turn order. So Eric, I have been the last person in the round a few times, and it's hard to get people to vote for your way, because if you start it in the first one, you don't get to spark a discussion about it. And if you spark a discussion about it, you don't get to create it until your turn, which is the last turn of the whole round. So just keeping that in mind for you, as you are the last player on the circuit.
Yeah.
So you get one action per round. Donating resources is a free action. So you can donate resources whenever. You can also mine Inang-Uri for resources. You will be able to get resources, but you lose 2 prestige, and Inang-Uri loses a health. Or you can steal resources from someone else. You can steal up to 3 resources from someone else's pool, whether it's a communal pool or another project, or from a faction's unspent resources. You do lose 1 prestige for each resource spent. And there you go. I think that's the basics.
Do we start with prestige? I can't remember, and I can't figure that out from the sheet. I don't think so.
No. You get
No, we don't.
prestige afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're letting that most prestigious faction get to your head, but you don't actually.
Only a little.
Sam's the best, though. Come on now.
I'm the best.
I guess.
Wow, okay.
Oh,
Ice cold. Looks like I know who I'm stealing resources from.
Something a trader would say. All right, but
You're
you do
so right.
you do get to start us off.
I get to start? Yay! Okay. I am. I'm going to donate all of my resources to the community project.
Wow.
Is it a D6 this round?
It is a D6 this round.
Okay.
And I am going to spark a discussion to open the floor to any faction, since the Silent Sisters have taken care of the resources for the community pool there, the community project. The Silent Sisters are going to open the floor to the Starlight Collectors to ask them if they would like to create a project about, if they would like to be the ones to work on figuring out how to harvest from the more docile snakes.
Oh. Okay. All right.
They should have the most knowledge, the most respect in this field.
So the old man from earlier, in his cleanest overalls and white shirt, kind of nods thoughtfully and then turns, and you see a younger woman, probably like late 20s, early 30s, kind of step up, hair pulled back into a tight braid. Everything about her is like neat and looks very pristine and organized, but the clothes are still like their work clothes. So she steps up. She says, well, yes. We have been dealing with these serpents for quite a while, and I'm sure that we could easily do as our sisters ask, and look look into that. We might need some support as far as protection for the people that are trying to capture and harvest until our chronomancer friends have succeeded in creating a slower version.
The Silent Sisters, again, kind of turning inwards, and there's that whole like internal little debate, and then they outwardly face you again, and the little 10-year-old girl, she runs forward with she's looking very spick and span. She looks like a grown-up, just short, but she's very obviously a child. And she runs up and it's got a piece of paper.
Thank you, Miss.
And so there's a hypothesis and like a suggestion for like a very basic step by step, and it really is basic. Like it looks like it's been written for like a 5-year-old. Like it's like step 1, open the jar. Step 2, put lid back on counter. Like it's very like thorough and long. But in reading it, you realize that this is a very thorough project and suggestion for finding out what we could get from eating the snakes without harvesting anything from them, just eating the meat. And they are suggesting that perhaps your clan or faction, since you're all so hardy and people of the earth, would be interested in playing guinea pig.
Oh. Huh. That's different from harvesting the starlight.
And there is like data there showing that, a lot of time could be saved, a lot of effort, a lot of
what?
people.
What was that first part though? A lot of what?
Nothing. Don't worry about that. You didn't hear anything. Don't worry about it. But yeah, there's a whole bunch there saying, we could really progress things if we just took out the whole middleman and could eat the snake meat to absorb the starlight.
Oh.
But of course, we don't know if the snakes are poisonous. Not venomous, poisonous.
They could be
Um,
venomous though. Don't get bit.
We also don't know what the effects of consuming raw starlight are, if that is what is inside these snakes.
well, sisters, with the greatest love and respect that we have for you, I don't know that eating these snakes, feeding them to our fellows, is the most scientific way of figuring out the results. Do you?
And they kind of again like into themselves, and there's about a clicking and clacking and calculating and discussions, and then back out, and they're like, the little girl kind of in the process had run back and then grabs a piece of paper again, like one hand shoots up out of the middle of like the group and it's passed along to the little girl. She grabs it and runs it back over to the Starlight Collectors, and
Thank you, Miss. Aren't you so sweet?
and she's just got like a really stoic face on, kind of like, yeah, call me sweet again. Like, but she doesn't like say anything. She just kind of gives you a look like, yeah, okay. And on the piece of paper is essentially one word. Yes.
You see, she kind of goes back to confer. with the others, and they seem to be arguing back and forth. Before a young man steps out, and the School of Radiance would probably recognize him as once a student, and he's got like short, kind of shaggy black hair, kind of glints blue and purple in places, just like a little bit of a shine to it. Um, and he is dressed um, in like the most professional, stylish clothes. Like he's obviously the one that went out and got some schooling and came back. And he comes up and he goes, "Well, sisters, my people and I have decided that we would happily look into um, words are hard. Harvesting the starlight from these snakes once everyone has made them a little bit more docile. Uh, I think perhaps it shouldn't be on just one faction to scientifically go through whether or not these snakes are edible, if there's any side effects. I feel like that should be a community project. Maybe once we've figured out how to make the snakes more docile, we can work on a project like that together as a group."
So the sisters like collectively just kind of like give you the stink eye from like across the hall. And then they kind of go like they blink and they roll their eyes and collectively as a block look to the chronomancers.
Good. Amongst the chronomancers, there are two of them that are practically vibrating and they are fixated on the sisters. And as soon as that collective eye shift comes over to them, they are just like,
Pick me, pick me, pick me.
and they take a half a step forward and then stop and check. And then they're like,
Yeah, two of the sisters will like immediately like break off and like kind of shoot forward very much in like a beeline, almost militant fashion. And they like grab the two chronomancers, volunteers, and they are like absorbed into the Silent Sisters like like you don't see them, you don't know where they went, they're in there, they must be somewhere, but like you can't see them anymore, they've been absorbed. And
stripped to the bone.
Yep.
Like
And
the
the sisters then kind of just look to the School of Radiance all like expectantly.
The headmistress, who you can tell is the headmistress because she has the bright blue robes, but they've got plenty of golden trim on them, on the sleeves, on the wrists, and her hair is like long, cascading, and it glows bright gold. And she says, "If it would help, I will keep one of these creatures as a pet and see what my research in working with this creature, maybe as a companion, a familiar, learning to cast spells with its assistance, could accomplish for us."
The sisters seem to really actually like this idea. Like they look impressed. They're like, someone had a thought? And they kind of like chat amongst themselves like, did you know they could think? I had no fucking idea they could think. I had no clue. No. And so they give like a curt nod, and as they nod, the two chronomancers are ejected with like a bunch of like scientific like materials and like a recipe book on like suggestions on how to cook the snakes and a bunch of data, and they're missing things though. Like there are things missing off these dudes or thems people. Whether or not they notice or whether or not anybody cares, it could have just been payment, it could have been a trade, it could have been any amount of things. But yeah, they've been ejected and sent back to the rest of the chronomancers with everything that they're going to need to do a faction project then on eating snakes and seeing if they're poisonous or what happens when we consume the raw starlight. The sisters don't have anything for the School of Radiance in terms of materials, but they are very impressed, and that in of itself is a boon. And so chronomancers are ejected. A approving glance is given to the School of Radiance, and as a final move, all of the sisters just kind of look at the Starlight Collectors like, I'm not even mad, I'm just disappointed. And that'll be the closing of the discussion, unless anybody would like to add anything.
The chronomancers specifically volunteered because they're the crazy ones that love to do the weird shit. They're basically like the slow-mo guys, or the scientists in the lab that like to play pranks on the other scientists with the equipment and stuff, like having a giant air cannon aimed at a door, so that way as soon as somebody opens it and tries to step through, they blast them with the air cannon. That's those guys. But their theory was, yeah, this one will eat it, and if he starts to get sick, this one will rewind the time so he didn't eat it. And that would be their way of testing that. And that's how they're going to do their science, is to just literally FAFO for it, because they can just hit rewind and undo whatever adverse effects they stumble upon and document it.
There will be one more thing then. There's like, if they explain this or that's been done, the sisters again, they go into themselves, a hand shoots up, the paper moves forward, it goes to the little girl runs it to the chronomancers.
The one of them takes it and the other one's like right over his shoulder, and they're both just like looking and reading it.
And in big letters, like with huge like block letters, collect your data.
And they both just kind of like look at each other and look at the sisters, and they're just like, of course, what do you take us for? And then they march off back to the main chronomancers area.
Yeah, the sisters, like as a group, kind of roll their eyes again and like head back to their place, the nape.
So that was turn 1 from the sisters.
That was turn 1.
That was turn 1 from the sisters, indeed. That's
Okay.
why we're playing the quick version.
Fair. Still, I liked it. That was fun.
Right? It was fun.
If I'm remembering turn order correctly, I believe we moved to Jen now.
Okay.
Am I correct? You're muted, D, from the dogs.
Yes, it is Jen's.
All right. My possible actions. I think I would like to explore the world.
Ooh. What do you discover?
One, the serpents are flying down from the roof of the cavern and landing on Inang-Uri.
Oh, they weren't here all along
They weren't here all along.
and just overpopulated themselves.
And when they are full of magic, they start to glow.
Ooh. That's fun. I wonder if they're eating the starlight and then it's taking it away from us.
I don't know.
All right, so I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, maybe you explore the world and tell us.
I think we're gonna do a faction project. We will take the Starlight Sisters' first idea about trying to figure a way to collect and harvest the starlight from the snakes.
I will point out that that is technically the community project.
I thought the community project was to slow them down so that we could make them docile and domesticate them.
I thought it was like a breeding program.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Where they speed up time on the aggressive ones to kill them and harvest the starlight and keep the docile ones and figure out how to harvest from them.
But I
Peacefully.
understand your confusion because I kind of misspoke at the beginning of like my roundtable talk. I was talking about harvesting and I meant like eating them to like harvest the starlight directly into us.
Got you. So is the community project to domesticate the snakes or to learn how to harvest from the snakes? Because I think those are two different things.
My understanding was for the community project was that it was the idea of kind of just across all four factions there, with the Radiance and the Silent Sisters, puzzling out like how can we get the starlight out of the serpents, and then the gatherers and the chronomancers controlling the numbers, culling them down, and then getting them domesticated was my read on it.
Okay. So generally, a community project is one thing that we all work on together. And I feel like I might be pulling on strings here, but it feels like those are two different projects.
Gotcha. Okay, so I was mistaken.
I don't know. That's me. Am I the only one who feels that way?
That makes sense.
It makes sense. I mean, it's like a two-part project. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like because we already agreed on it and that's the way it's worded, we should leave it for now, if that's okay with you.
A
Does that make
learning
sense?
experience.
Yeah, and like next time
Okay.
we'll just be.
I guess I could read what was written. Community project. Snake breeding program that accelerates time on aggressive snakes to harvest starlight from their deaths and try to find a non-violent way to harvest from docile snakes. Okay. Look, I'm trying to run a stream here. There's a lot going on.
That's why we're trying to help you out.
True.
That's why I'm taking the notes.
I appreciate you all. I really do. I'm glad you're here with me. Okay, so I guess I won't do a faction project. Yeah. You know what? Our group will explore the world. Less of an exploring of the world, as much as the, hearing from the Radiance, the School of Radiance about where these snakes are actually coming from. The collectors generally have their feet, their eyes on the ground, not up in the air. So I will say that these snakes are drawn to the echolocation that Inang-Uri uses to get through these underground caverns and tunnels. It's what attracts them. And I will say, as they start to glow, they become, as they start to glow. God, I'm torn between two different things.
We'll roll for it. God.
You're right. What am I thinking?
We are playing with dice.
We are playing with dice. Okay, so I rolled for it. So as they start to glow, they actually create minor magical effects. And sometimes that includes setting fires to the roots of the feathers and the feathers themselves. It's causing a lot of problems for the collectors as they're trying to work. And these snakes having it's less of a population issue and more of they just keep coming, right? They will constantly be coming, and as they feed, they are starting little fires.
Destroying
Keep
the
on going.
environment, an invasive species.
So those are my two. Eric, it is your turn, darling.
Okay, so the sisters devoted all of their resources to the community project. So for the community project, while faction projects benefit only one faction, community projects aim to help with the world scenario or an ongoing civilization-wide issue. Name a project and declare how it solves the world scenario. Draw this. Allocate at least one resource on this project. Okay. So
I'm gonna.
who initially did the
Sorry, go ahead.
community project first? So that was okay. And then D, what were you saying?
Oh no, you reminded me that for my free action, I do want to add something to the community project.
Okay.
Can you overflow the community project?
Did you add 2?
I added
There was
4,
already
and we
2 in the community pool, right?
yeah, there's 2 at the beginning.
Oh, then I'm not gonna do that. It's cool.
However, before you decide to or not to do that, D, follow up to that. Gain 2 prestige as the person who does it. You gain 1 more prestige and Inang-Uri 1 health if it succeeds in phase 3. Everyone else who contributed gains a prestige on its success as well. So contributing to it is a way to gain prestige too, even if you're not the one that started it.
Yeah. Funny how Sam filled it all the way up, isn't it?
Oh,
So
it caps?
funny. It sure does cap. I filled it to the max, so nobody else could contribute to it.
I didn't know it had a max.
Mhm.
Yeah, you do.
Huh. Where does it say that?
In the PDF.
Well, I'm looking at it, but I'm looking at the cheat sheet PDF.
Well, because we only roll a d6, like there's so 6 is the maximum that we can get on a d6.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm so surprised none of you caught on until this phase. You're muted, but I know you're telling me that you're busy and running the stream, and I feel for you, and my heart goes out to you. But I'm still gonna trash talk you because that's my dynamic.
That is absolutely okay, and I love you for it. No, I was actually saying I forgot that the communal pool had 2 already, so I heard you say 4, and I was like, oh right, so I should add 1, unless Jen adds 2, and then I wouldn't be able to. That was where my brain went. I skipped a step.
Ah. Well then. Okay. I think I'll try to come up with it. See, I thought I would be able to add into the community project and then do an explore as well. No, apparently not. I can't add Sam. How dare. I would like to rewind time back to before Sam did that so I can... No, I'm kidding. I will create a faction project, I think. But I don't know what to make the project just yet. I have to... I'm having to pivot to this as my decision. Out of the options available.
Keep in mind that because you are at the end of the turn order, the only resources that will go into your faction project are your resources.
Yeah.
Nobody else can contribute. That's just the one thing that Dee was saying earlier, and I just want to make sure you know that.
Okay.
Well, we do have a second round where we can add to it.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if we can add, because I thought all the projects technically end at the end of a generation.
Yeah,
and
but
we roll.
There's 2 rounds in a generation.
Oh, right. My bad.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, in the phase.
Yeah, but he can create it, but he can't try to convince us to contribute to
add to it. Yeah, until
right.
the next.
Yeah, so we would just have to add based on whatever.
So the faction project is going to lean into the chronomancy of it all. What will they do, and what will the benefit for it be? Inang-Uri is a teenager in its life cycle. So that means Inang-Uri is still young, still vulnerable, not quite in the prime of her life. They
Just going to
will.
remind you,
Hmm.
you get to create your faction project, but you don't get to try to win us over to it. You don't get to explain it. You just say what it is.
Ah,
That's why the actions are separated like that, and there's an action specifically to spark discussion.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, the project is going to be try to advance Inang-Uri's age a little bit.
I mean, the sisters gave you all of that information and data on running a different project.
Wasn't that their own project, or no? That was spark of discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In that case, then yeah, no, we'll just go ahead and follow up with the let's eat some snakes. For the faction project.
I love it.
I mean, you don't have to do it. You can totally shaft the sisters if the chronomancers so wish.
Mm-hmm.
No, the chronomancers don't have any animosity towards the sisters. They get that feeling of the superiority wafting from the sisters, but they don't. They're not bothered by it. They're just like, oh, it's the academics. They think they're above us being able to wiggle our fingers and make time do funny things. It's like, oh yeah, well, I bet they still use fire magic to make their cookies. I bet not all of them have ovens. So yes, yeah, we'll do the project of eating some snakes with the impact of generating a alternative source of powering faction magic. And allocating I'll allocate 2 resources to that.
Okay, just a reminder, you're going to roll a d6, and you need to roll a 1 or a 2, or you need to roll. So the DC is based on how many resources are contributed to a project. So with the communal project has 6 resources contributed, and we're going to roll a d6.
It's going to pass. Yeah.
It's definitely going to pass. If you start a faction project and you only have 2 resources allocated, when you roll your d6, you have to roll a 1 or a 2, unless someone in the next round adds to it. So I'm just letting you know, like, that's where you're at as far as.
Okay. I like that as a mechanic. That's neat. Yeah. Okay. In that case, then yes, we'll contribute 4. Give myself the highest chances of personal success with my own personal resources. Then 4.
Yeah. This is it is very much like the board game resource management, which I really enjoy, but also it feels like it's not easy to win. It's not like there's always a balance. There's always choices.
Yeah,
which is fun.
Devote all 4 resources puts me just a tiny bit up over the average of a D6. Cool. Those are good odds that I can rely on for myself. And that's my turn.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we start a new round. Sam, you get 1 action, my darling.
Just 1.
So I'm going to explore the world. Share 2 details about the world scenario, or 1 detail about Inang-Uri as a result of your faction's research. So Inang-Uri, we've been very carefully doing experiments on Inang-Uri herself. We want to find out what kind of blood she has, and we are surprised to find out that she doesn't have blood as many other creatures have, or the way you would normally think of blood. What she has in her veins is fire, like white fire, like starlight fire. And it's fire, but it's not the kind of magic fire that we're used to. It is something else entirely. And we found that if we collect blood from different parts of Inang-Uri, the starlight is different colors. The starlight blood is different colors, and they do some interesting things when they come into contact with one another.
Ooh.
This is mad science.
This is interesting.
I was muted, but I was like, I'm sorry, what did you think I was doing? Good, clean, fun science?
Happy science, of course. The opposite of mad science. Silly science.
The opposite of mad science is happy science.
Yes. Quick aside, did anybody else watch Sheep in the Big City? Never mind.
Okay. So, this chimera's on fire. Amazing. So that's that turn. Jen, what do you want to do?
I will create a faction project. The
Mm-hmm.
headmistress mentioned earlier, keeping one of the serpents as a pet and trying to draw power from it.
That's true. That's
And
true.
she will dedicate her resources to figuring out what to feed it, getting in an enclosure. And seeing if she can channel magic from it. Cast her spells.
Awesome. Cool. We got another faction project going on. All right. The collectors have been busy putting out fires. What do I want to do? All right, for my free actions, I'm going to donate one resource to the headmistress's familiar, and one resource to the chronomancers.
Much obliged.
If you could, Eric, write down what your project is. It's a good idea to maybe put like you'll see each one of us has our own version of our resources, the name of our faction project if we have one, and how much prestige, just to keep track. So I'm gonna donate one to each of you.
One to everybody, including the Starlight Sisters?
No, you don't have a faction project.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
No. So that leaves me with 2 resources, and if you succeed, I will benefit as supporting you. Good night, Z.
Good night, C.
Good night.
At least it's a time zone demon and not a lust demon. Okay. Anyway, so we so my faction is going to God, my brain. Where are we at? Here we go. Actions. Show me my actions. Create a faction project, community project, spark a discussion, explore the world, mine, steal resources. A part of me wants to like steal a resource from the communal project and then donate a resource to the communal project. because I'm that kind of player.
I mean, what is the net gain on that? Because
Don't you
stealing,
lose
yeah, you lose
prestige?
prestige for stealing.
And then you gain
Oh,
one
yeah.
if it succeeds.
All right.
It's
So you only
net
gain
0.
one.
A very
If-
convoluted way of just staying in your lane.
I know. I thought,
Love that for you.
yeah. Also, I just want to be obnoxious. But anyway, so in our travels throughout this generation, we have been dealing with these serpents. They're glowing, they're fire. And also, we're discovering that the inner fire of Inang-Uri that the sisters have discovered is mixing and like almost like empowering the fire of the snakes, which is causing problems for the feathers a lot. I'm going to spark a discussion. Going to the council and begging, pleading for assistance in trying to dampen these fires, reaching out to the headmistress. Perhaps your students can of water magic or anything could help protect our collectors as they are just trying to do what they can to harvest the starlight, and it's becoming more and more difficult as each year progresses. Please, we need help.
The chronomancers will volunteer for that. Upon hearing the plead, they will step forward and say that one of the past ideas bandied about was to accelerate the serpents, and that seems like a good way to just get a little bit of research done and protect the collectors at the same time. So they are amicable to the idea of loaning their support to the collectors.
What the headmistress is hoping to accomplish by keeping one of the snakes as a pet is to use the serpents as a magic source. So perhaps we will figure out how to siphon some of the power off of the serpents so they're not catching on fire as much.
I mean, we need help now. We're there in every day we are in the feathers trying to deal and
in the trenches of the feathers.
mm-hmm. We're there in the feathers trying to help all of us. I mean, what would the schools, either of them, do without the starlight we provide? I mean, if we're unable to collect it, do you think these snakes are the final answer, that you don't need us anymore out there?
No. Mechanically, I can't really send any resources, can I?
No. No, it's purely just talking about it, but it can transition into the next generation if we want to.
While the College of Radiance doesn't have the ability to cast water magic yet, we will try to develop a school of water magic and see if the star's radiance can be used to influence water.
In the meantime, there's another pair of chronomancers, different from the ones that were eager to volunteer to eat some snakes. That, again, as mentioned, they kind of step forward and they're like, "Yeah, we got you. We've already got plans." And they're like being like gung ho, finger guns, like, yeah, we'll take care of those snakes with you.
Finger guns. I think the collectors are going to be a little nervous about the chronomancers who are constantly messing with time. And I feel like there's like a 50-50 split about whether or not it works as it's intended. And yes, we appreciate the help of our chronomancer friends. There's one section that I think you would most be helpful in is the first section that started the problems, and perhaps you could return it to its previous luster. In other words, they're giving you a place you can't fuck up any worse.
Forwards, backwards, we'll go both ways and back again.
I mean, so I think that's my turn. Sparking a discussion, and Eric, it is your turn.
So I've created a faction. I'm now 2-5 resources on that. I don't really have a whole lot more that I can do unless if I do the mining, can I immediately contribute?
Yep.
I would lose 2
Yeah.
prestige for that.
You would.
Don't know if that's really worth the gain.
It is if you're the trader.
Well, so I would gain 3 because I would get I would, even rolling a d6, I'd get 1 resource no matter what, and that would be enough to get me to 6 resources to my own project. I would guaranteed win that, so I would have a net gain of 1 prestige from my project, and then mining in Inang-Uri, and Inang-Uri would lose 1 health. That's the other trade-off too. What was it saying? Do the resources reset per generation?
Yes.
So then, okay.
Per
You get to
generation, not
carry
per
over.
round.
You do get to carry over unused resources to the next generation, but you get more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's the communal pool that resets to its default value. Okay, I see that now. So I could go into the next generation with more resources if I were to mine.
That is correct.
But in Anger, it would lose 1 health.
Choices, choices.
Ah,
You can also steal.
You can also steal.
Which also loses prestige.
yeah.
Doesn't hurt in Inang-Uri.
So really, are you a really bad trader who wants to kill our home?
Why are you
Or-
assuming I'm the traitor?
I mean, you're the one who's talking about mining.
Yeah, you were talking about mining.
Because I'm tapped out for resources.
Yeah, that's right. Hurt our mother, our home, this living being that we all rely on for our life. For a few measly resources? For what? So you can fuck around with time some more?
Up to 6 resources instead of just up to 3, plus losing 1 prestige per resource when I steal versus just losing 2 up to 6. I hate that math. That is the worst. That feels really bad to say. Ugh.
Knowledge of Radiance feels that the risks of magic should be taken upon oneself instead of on an Inang-Uri.
Sure. Yes.
The Silent Sisters. Or the Sisters. They will, they're in their bubble, and they, piece of paper flies up out of the middle, it gets handed to the front, little girl runs up to the chronomancers, and,
This wasn't a sparked discussion, but thank you.
oh, was it not? I'm sorry.
No, I was just thinking out loud about what my options
I was responding,
were.
so I was feeling the FOMO.
Fair enough.
Oops.
Fair enough.
What does the note say?
Yeah, what did the note say?
Does the chronomancers read the note, or do they're like, this is not a discussion?
They'll take in.
Oh, they still want to
input
read
from
it?
your
Okay.
guys. Yes.
It basically just says as long as you collect the data, you have the sisters' support.
Oh. We have 2 traitors in our headmistress.
Like, you can
Ooh.
fuck around, but the difference between fucking around and science.
It's writing it down.
That's the quote of the session.
That's the moral of today's session. The difference between science and fucking around is writing it down. I feel like someone needs to write that shit down and make a meme.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the first one to say that. I am like
It's Mythbusters.
Yeah, there you go.
Adam Savage.
Okay.
I'm
All
not
right,
that
well,
cute.
you're
Um,
cuter. Hi, Casey. Miss you.
I think a l-
It's difficult.
it really
when you
is.
don't
especially
when you
being-
don't know exactly what you want to do.
I don't know what I want to do, and I'm the last player, so it's like this moves on to the next generation after I do this, and do I want to set myself up further for the next generation? Do I want to make sure that this generation succeeds at what it does? Do I want to try to undercut somebody else? What do I want to do? Do I
Roll
want
some
to
dice.
do I want to just explore the world and just gain a prestige that way and world build a little further? I think I will. Yes, I will explore the world. I have an interesting idea for the world scenario. The cultists who like to try to elevate Inang-Uri to deity, to deityhood, to godhood. Once the news came out that the serpents were using echolocation, they began using magic because they too are blind. They ritually blind themselves, but they still use magic to get around and pass themselves off as seeing, so that way nobody can kind of peg them for being a cultist. What they're doing is they are going out into the areas and setting off tones like it's echolocation tones and luring the serpents in. So it's not just that the serpents are coming in and being like, ooh, a warm nest of feathers. There's also some assholes that are bringing the
Bringing in
serpents
more.
in. Yes. So they're contributing to it. There is a homegrown problem for this. Also, sloth plushie jump scare.
I saw that.
He's been lurking there all along. Second detail about the world scenario. Didn't think that far. That is discovered that the cultists are doing the echolocation because one of them did it at about the same time that Inang-Uri did for navigation. And that caused Inang-Uri to get disoriented and caused a minor tremor as there was some confused wiggling and trying to figure out where to go and colliding with something in the environment, and kind of heightened awareness of, hey, hang on, we're used to that. That sounded a little off. What was that? And that's how the cultist was found out. So there was also a little minor impact from Inang-Uri, causing some small tremors and whatnot that led to the discovery of these cultists being assholes.
Alrighty. Is someone writing that down?
Is that on the whiteboard?
Okay, so that is generation 1. Folks, we have one more generation to go. Do y'all want to take a quick 10-minute break? Yeah, let's take a quick 10-minute break. This time, no tech issues coming back. We're going to be on time, as much as our neurodivergent little souls can be.
So that means 10 after.
Awesome. I don't even have my break thing ready. Welcome back, everyone, from our second break of the evening. We only have like an hour left before, not even 45 minutes before one of our players must go to sleep. Because, that day job, it's a rough one.
It sucks.
So we're going to resolve Generation 1, and then we're going to do a lightning round of Generation 2 now that we all kind of know what's going on and how to play and what we want to do, maybe. And I open up the floor to for the other players to remind me when I run my mouth too long. So, for Generation 1, anyone who has a faction project, you roll a d6. Your DC for that is the number of resources. So if you have 5 resources in a project, you need to roll. Well, basically, you can't roll a 6. If you roll a 6, you fail. And Sam, as our most prestigious, please roll for the community project.
Oh, I do that after the faction projects are resolved.
Okay, I mean, sure. We could also do it faster.
That's what the rules say, okay?
All right. Well, it's my birthday, and I say, roll those d6s.
Well, okay, you know what? You're so right. How dare I? But also, the community project auto crits. So
That's very true.
do what you want.
Amazing. I just realized I don't think I recorded this session from the beginning because I'm brilliant. Anyway,
If you are broadcasting it to Twitch, Twitch will store it for, I believe, up to a week.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can
but
save it.
YouTube will save it forever. That's why YouTube is better. Sorry, Twitch folks. All right. Anyway, let's roll some dice. We got 2 people with faction projects. Roll those d6s. Get a 5 or lower. Jen, what'd you get?
2.
2. Eric, what'd you get?
4.
4. Awesome. So you both succeed. Sam, tell us what we've won.
Well, gang, seeing as we've decided to go ahead and get the snake breeding program off the ground, that's looking real good. They're breeding. It is happening. And we are enjoying it. If that's your thing. I do believe those are called scalies. Be careful out there, folks. There's a lot more of them than you think.
Come on down to the snake orgy. We're well past 10 minutes, so.
You made a mistake telling me to take the lead here. Anyways, okay, so yeah, we're doing good. We have 1 breeding snakes. It's a great prize to get, in my opinion. And we've found a way to deal with the docile snakes. We are harvesting from them. Ooh, and we're milking them. That is the correct term, and we're getting it from the holes in the mouth that are inside the bigger hole. The little hole with the fangs, the teeth holes. We're milking.
Wow. Real science going on here, folks. Real science.
Real big science.
This is everything I wanted and more.
And you too could have this much fun with your friends at home by just buying The Marvelous Children of Inang-Uri on itch.io. If you are on Twitch, you can hit !game and get the link. If you're on YouTube, it's in the description. If you're on Facebook, I have no effing idea. I'm sorry.
No Facebooking idea.
No Facebooking idea. I'm sure I put a link on my Facebook page somewhere. There's literally 0 people on Facebook right now, so I can say whatever I want about it.
If you're watching on Facebook, this game isn't for you.
Like I put it up simply so my family could show up, and one of them did. So yay!
Yay!
Hey!
The other one went to
wonderful.
Twitch. So 2 family members showed up today. That's the way. Okay, so both factions are a success. The faction who made the project gains 2 prestige and can remove 1 adversity if you have one. I don't think anyone has adversity yet. You get to narrate the outcome of the success. I will remind you that we are in our lightning round. while you do that narration. And anyone who added to the project gains 1 prestige.
Okay, so just for the sake of lightning round, since I just did it and you said that, I have gone ahead and I've marked on the whiteboard for the faction project for the Chronomancers about the snake that it was a success. So +2 prestige for the Chronomancers, +1 for the collectors, as they helped contribute to the success of this project. Project success. We now have snake steaks and snake cookies.
Snake cookies.
They are only cookies just made in the shapes of snakes. There's actually no snake parts involved. However, they are the perfect excuse to talk about Snookies. And that is why they exist.
Snookies.
Yes, the Snookies.
Snookies.
However, consuming the snake steaks, the snakes, if you will, yes, thank you. Does not have any adverse effects, so they can be used as a food source.
But how do they match up with the starlight? I can't imagine it is equal to harvesting starlight raw. Or is that a question for one of our world?
Perhaps the headmistress of the Radiant College.
With the breeding program being such a success, the snakes are quite docile now. And it's also quite effective to harvest starlight from the snakes to use in magic. So it comes to the point where each student at the College of Radiance is issued a snake in their second year. And they take classes to learn how to milk magic from their teeth holes. And it has greatly increased the students' ability to cast spells.
Amazing. So we have a snake breeding program, we got a snake milking program, and we get a snake eating program. Snakey, I'm sorry you left us to go, I don't know, sleep or go to the bar or eat some Who Boys, whatever you did. All right.
Maybe it's for the better.
He'd appreciate it. Trust me. He's kind of the perfect candidate for a game like this, to be honest. All right, so Generation 2. Everyone tally up your prestige. And and the person with the highest gets to be the new highest prestige.
Love how you skipped over phase 4 altogether.
Was there phase 4? Oh,
Accusations.
the accusation. We're in the lightning round. We have
Okay.
40 minutes, and we could spend 40 minutes on the accusation phase. Unless you want to just stop.
Sounds like something a traitor would say.
Come at me, bro.
Accused. You've been accused. Accused.
So Inang-Uri gains health for each successful community project. So she gains 2 health with the primary project.
What does her health start at?
3.
Okay.
Everyone who contributed to the community project gains 1 prestige.
Me.
So it's the Sisters of Starlight.
Okay. Who's got the highest prestige? What do you got, Starlight Sisters? You got 3? I got 5.
We know.
Chronomancers are sitting pretty at 3.
3.
Oh, look at that. I'm the most prestigious. Just helping everyone out and not bending to the will of the
4.
Starlight
4.
Sisters. You have 4.
Yes, I did my math wrong. Because it's +3 for doing a project and having it succeed. and then I also explored.
I feel like,
Okay.
did you not do something each round that got you prestige? I feel like you should be sitting at 5 too. Unless you
round.
mind or something.
No,
He
I didn't
thought
mind.
about it.
I
He
thought,
thought
yeah, I
about
thought
it.
about it. I was contemplating it. No, I did a faction project in round 2, and then I did explore the world. So yeah, I should be at 5. You're right. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Look at that.
So,
That sounds like what the trader wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
I always suspect Sam. There's a 1 in 6 chance that she is a traitor. There's a 6 in 6 chance that she'll act like one whether she wants to be or not. Sorry. All right. Cool. So we're in our second generation.
No, I should be at 4.
Yeah, I should also be at 4.
Generation 2.
Alrighty. So
People of the Earth are in charge.
all right. Awesome. As we should be, really. Look, where would we be without the farmers who grow our crops and the people who make the goods that we use and need? Where would our
Counterpoint.
cookies be?
Counterpoint. Where would we be without somebody who's paid millions of dollars a year to sit on their butt and do nothing?
Look, we don't
Have you
need.
thought about them and their third yacht?
I wish I fucking could. All right.
Moving on.
Oh. So we're going to create a community project, but before that, we community project gets its 2 resources. And a new world scenario is chosen. Would someone like to roll me, Eric and Jen?
Yes.
Roll me a d6 as fast as you can. Give me that number.
3.
4.
All right. Oh, creatures from the deep emerge into the surface and bring a large, ominous tablet with them.
Oh, that sounds like religion.
Sure does. Also, Inang-Uri's health goes down by 1. Okay. As the most prestigious faction, I won't go first. We discovered these creatures in areas where we were trying to put out fires. They just seemed to come up out of nowhere. They tried to speak to us, but we could not understand their language. And the tablets are ice cold to the touch. Eric, you get to decide 2 things about the world scenario and Inang-Uri.
Okay. In that case, then, these are also going to be another type of creature that was underground, following the serpents to Inang-Uri. That is the deep that they've arrived from. This ominous tablet that they come bearing is a pictograph of the types of creatures that Inang-Uri belongs to, a titan being hunted by gods. However, what's ominous about this is that this particular titan that is depicted has the head of an owl and the body of a salmon.
So it's like a big fish eats the smaller fish.
Well, it's a tablet depicting Inang-Uri being eaten by the gods.
Or other creatures like her?
Do all the Titans have owl heads and salmon bodies, or are they all chimeras with different body combos?
In the first one, I was trying to think that to say that they're all like in Inang-Uri and we just escaped. But I mean, we'll find out really what the mythos says.
But
Sam. Oh, is that 2?
Yeah, I'd say that they were already underground, and then that they had something that depicted Inang-Uri being gnobbed.
Don't I go last? Because sorry, go ahead.
No, because it starts with me and we're going clockwise. So what you're saying is, I think I misunderstood the first time. The underground that we're traveling through, they were already there.
Yes. And
Not
they
that
followed the serpents to Inang-Uri. Not that they burst out of Inang-Uri's skin. Don't like that.
I mean, if she was in space, it kind of would have to be that way, I guess, maybe. Or some other orifice. Anyway, Sam, that's a segue to you.
Indeed.
Orifices is a segue to what?
It's just how Celtic sees me. Just a big mouth spewing verbal garbage. Okay, what do we do? Okay, world scenario. So I'm sure y'all are what? I'm sure y'all are all like, okay, tablet, it's a stone tablet. Wrong. It's an iPad. Well, no, okay, hear me out. Haha. But like, no, seriously, it is actually like a tablet that has like a screen that is depicting lots of things. And the longer that it's on, it starts to go from, like cold to hot. And then we can turn it off so that it cools down again. But the sisters are wondering if maybe we should crack that sucker open and see how it works. World scenario 1 is that it's technically like, yes, it's a tablet, but it is an electrical computer tablet, and the sisters believe that it has technology inside it that is beyond anything we've ever seen before or dealt with before, and warily eyeing the chronomancers. They would like to get their hands on it and take a look on inside how it works.
All right, Jen.
In the depiction of the god trying to eat Inang-Uri or one of her species, the god is a bear. It's a bear god, giant bear. And it's holding a shovel. It's going to dig its way down into the cavern we're flying through.
Is it a floppy bear, though?
How floppy is the bear?
How floppy is the bear?
It has only the suggestion of bones.
So a furry slug.
Like a bear rug?
Here. Okay, a bear rug with a shovel. Got it.
Oh my goodness.
That feels like one of those in Mother Russia. It's you.
It's also got a furry hat.
Wait, okay, now hold on. It's a bear rug made of fur, and it's wearing... Where did it get this other fur for the fur hat?
The mysteries of the gods.
It's not for us to know.
Fair. I'm sorry for derailing us.
From another chimera. That's where it came from.
Fair enough.
All right, Sam, if you could roll me a d6, please.
A D6. Wow.
Wow. Too bad we're not in Discord with the soundboard.
That's what I keep doing.
Wow.
I got a 1.
Confused. Inang-Uri is confused in this generation. I think I am too. Bear rug with a shovel and a fur hat. Aren't we all? Okay. So now we'll set up our primary community project for this new generation. So Sam, you're saying this iPad, like we've already said the tablet had pictographs. And so do we understand the language that is in this tablet?
I don't know. I imagine that it has audio, but I don't know that we understand it. And I mean, pictographs are, just pictures, a video playing on the tablet. We can understand that.
Yes. But how clearly do we all understand video when we don't understand the words that are being said?
I don't know. You tell me. What's the intelligence benchmark here for the Starlight collectors?
Oh, that's. Well, I mean, I started it off with saying we did not understand the language.
Oh, fair enough.
And
Okay.
Eric followed up with pictographs, and you followed up with tablet. So, could our community project be learning to communicate with the new people or with the decipher the tablet?
Yeah, fair enough. I like that.
Sounds good to me.
All right. I will refrain from going into my long drawn out speech in respect of Eric's time.
I will refrain from fighting you on every point.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So we have our primary community project. And we are not going to do faction scenarios. So we have phase 2, which is our initiatives. So we receive our resources. So everybody gets 4. Alrighty. And then 1 action per round for 2 rounds. I will start us off. If our community project is to understand these new people and what they bring, I want to start a faction project, but I don't know what to start. Damn it. I was too busy goofing off.
Would you like some suggestions, some rapid fire suggestions here?
Sure.
For community project, you could be doing more with the snakes. You could be doing more with figuring out the starfire blood and how the different bloods react with each other. You could be doing more to ensure that you are still collecting starlight from the feathers and the scales. You could be doing anything to help deal with Inang-Uri being confused. All sorts of stuff in those realms. Is anything jumping out at you?
Yes. So I'm going to say that between the snakes coming down and absorbing the starlight, even though we are able to get the starlight from the milking process, as we discovered in the last generation, what is left on the feathers is running thin. Our most knowledgeable elders have said that most likely she will run out of starlight in 1 or 2 generations. So we need to conserve or find a way to collect more of it and not waste so much. So the process will we're going to try to figure out better, for lack of a better phrase, mining, harvesting procedures to get more of the starlight and less waste. So that'll be my faction project, and that's my turn. Eric.
Okay, my faction project I alluded to back in Generation 1. Savvy listeners and other players may recall that I was positing possibly trying to age up Inang-Uri to get out of the awkward teens and up into the prime of her life. So, the Chronomancers will posit that, we have a depiction of Inang-Uri being slain and consumed by a god. That means that there is supposedly going to be a confrontation at this point that would, theoretically speaking, be Inang-Uri's oldest age. What if we were to push Inang-Uri to that oldest age before the incident itself happens, thus allowing more years to accrue on Inang-Uri? Time travel's weird, guys.
You have thoroughly confused the collectors, and they think that you're going to kill her.
No, we'd stop right before. That's not reassuring.
That is not reassuring. Our livelihoods are.
The College of Radiance is very concerned about this suggestion.
So the idea is if Inang-Uri ages naturally, spends more time just stuck as a teenager, kind of, floppy teenager, no real muscle definition, no real tone, nothing like that. And then this floppy bear comes down with the shovel and tries to go for the coup de grace. Well, we got, only whatever amount of time Inang-Uri has had to have gotten better suited to defend herself. However, if we speed up and get out of the awkward teens and into a bit more of a mature chimera, mature titan Inang-Uri, they'll be able to better put up a fight against Floppy Bear and his shovel and feather hat or fur hat. That is the Chronomancer's plan.
Well, I mean, it's your project.
Yeah. So that is what I will do. I will start that project.
Awesome.
Pass turn.
I would like to spark a discussion. We'll have to be fast, but the College of Radiance is against this plan. They believe that Inang-Uri is young and vibrant, and why would we want to take years of her life away from her? They support deciphering the tablet, and they are considering a project where they can learn illusion magic to steer the floppy bear away from Inang-Uri.
In response to the concerns, one of the Chronomancers is going to step forward, and he is going to point to the whoever the spokeschild of the sisters are for this generation, and then point to the biggest, beefiest Starlight Collector farmer dude, and be like, "Hey, if those two got in a fight, who do you think would win?"
She kind of just looks up at you for a really long time, like a mom looking at her kid who just said the stupidest fucking thing, and she just goes, and it goes back to
My point is, Inang-Uri is young, and this timeless god thing is coming to try to fight Inang-Uri. Inang-Uri needs a leg up.
We don't know how soon.
A fin up.
We don't know how soon the floppy bear is coming to eat Inang-Uri. Maybe we should put resources into the communal project and ask the aliens if they know. So with that, I am going to put 2 resources into the community pool.
I totally forgot to do that on my turn, so thank you for doing that. Sam, what was your
I haven't had a turn.
I didn't think so. Okay.
I was just gonna start a community project. This I will tell you what's going on, but I don't know that the sisters are sharing what they're doing necessarily. You might just get it from like them just doing it. They don't necessarily ask for anyone's permission. But they feel that the whole floppy bear thing is like propaganda or like not gonna happen. This is just like something that's meant to distract us. So we're actually, before you guys or while you guys are trying to decipher what's going on, they're gonna start taking it apart to find out how it works.
I mean, we still have the people that brought it.
Oh, did
Does-
people bring it? Oh, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creatures.
Okay, so yeah, we're taking apart the. I didn't realize creatures brought it. I'm still. Then that just makes me feel better about my decision here to start taking apart the tablet and like glean what I can from the technology within, and how we can apply it to better our society.
Yeah,
and
it
our
says
defenses.
awesome. Okay. Yeah, creatures from the deep emerge into the surface and bring a large, ominous tablet with them.
Okay, cool. So great. That means that I can take apart the tablet, and I'm not really stepping on the toes of the community project, but I am dumping all of my resources into my faction project.
Okay.
Okay.
So since I forgot to do it last turn, I am putting 3 resources into my project, and then I'll put 3 resources into put 2 resources into the community project, and I will put 4 resources into mine. That gives me a 50-50 shot, and the community gets better than 50-50 shot. Perfect. I am going to spend this time castigating the chronomancers for their reckless use of time. They were allowed this. They were supposed to be feeding Inang-Uri, not using it to follow your own whims of fast forwarding and rewinding time. You abuse this, and it is hurting all of us. You cannot age her. Can you even use your power to affect something as great as Inang-Uri? She is not some snake at your feet that is easy to manipulate. She is our whole world. So I'm sparking discussion.
The College of Radiance agrees. The Chronomancer's plan is highly irresponsible.
The Chronomancers aren't disagreeing about using their magic to feed Inang-Uri as their driving purpose. They just posit that they can still do that and also try to prepare for this floppy bear by trying to give Inang-Uri, a boosties.
Our teens and young adults are the most fit among us, the most capable. Once you can convince their heads to do what their bodies are capable of, boosting her age will not increase her abilities. I implore the rest of the council to stop the chronomancers from whatever it is that they are planning to do.
The Starlight Collectors have the support of the College of Radiance. Our teenage students are brilliant casters.
The sisters just still feel, again, they run out the piece of paper.
Got the data?
The data. And in big block letters, it just says, collect your data. All science is good science as long as you write it down. Oh, you want to fight? You want to go? I thought we decided we weren't going to do this.
I didn't say anything. There were no words out of my mouth.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Okay. So that was my turn.
Okay.
Sparking discussion. Eric?
So we are back up to 4 resources is what we get for going into another generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Going to do 1 to the community project for the translation project, and then the other 3 into the Chronomancers try to age up Inang-Uri. And that'll be for my resources. Action. Not gonna worry about trying to spark a discussion. It's pretty obvious that it's kind of a 2-on-2, and there's really no point in trying to move those lines in the sand. Got better things to try to focus on. So let's say they explore the world. We'll do a new detail about Inang-Uri based off of the magic blood. The research followed up on, started by the sisters. The Chronomancers are taking what samples of that they can get and doing small-scale versions of their proposed experiment and advancing the blood through later stages of Inang-Uri's life to check its potency, and seeing that there is a massive increase in capability of output of what this stuff can do and let off. And that is part of what is driving them forward with their project. That is kind of convincing them that, yeah, there's something here. Inang-Uri is going to get stronger if Inang-Uri lives long enough to get stronger. And that's why they feel that it is a better idea to step out of the teens and into the adult phase for Inang-Uri. So that's the explore the world. I'll mark that prestige.
Alrighty. Sam.
So I am going to spark a discussion, and the sisters are basically going to provide a bunch of data on the similarities between the technological components within the tablet and a certain reaction that they are able to get or have witnessed happening in the experiments that the Chronomancers have been doing. And they feel that if they reverse the electrical output, they could essentially form a force field around Inang-Uri. So like an electrical kind of shield, and they are asking, uh, very modest, just from the 2 factions that still have resources, they just need 1 from each of you. But they understand that everybody is doing what they can. So there is no real expectation, but they feel or they hope that this data and the supporting arguments that they have will encourage donations to the resources of their project, their faction project.
Yes. And just as a reminder, you can donate to anyone's faction project or the community project. And if you have any resources you have left over at the end of this round, do absolutely nothing for you because we're ending the game at the end of this round.
Yep.
Is anybody donating resources?
I will donate 1.
Thank you so much. The Starlight Sisters give you another one of those approving looks, and you feel as though you have received some sort of boon.
A great big collective thumbs up from every one of them in the crowd in unison.
Yeah.
Okay. Jen,
Yes.
you have your last turn.
All right. We will explore. We will find out that the aliens are fascinated by magic because they're more technology based, and this is something completely new to them. And we already established that the blood, different colors of blood can be combined for different effects.
And that it gets stronger the older it is.
Different schools of magic have different affinities to colors. Radiance is associated with gold. I will donate my last resource to the community pool because it's a D8 this time, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And that'll put me at 0.
Okay. So now we resolve.
Celtic, did you get a turn?
Yeah, I had the first turn.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. I just didn't go on and on and on like I normally do.
Right. We
Yeah.
talked about
I
it.
was trying to do the lightning round. Please be proud of me. Okay, so we did our initiatives. Come on. Why are you being so
Resolutions. Faction projects are resolved first, followed by community projects. Primary community can restore 2 health if it exceeds, or deplete if it fails. Secondary, restore 1 or deplete 1.
Okay. Does anyone have the least amount of prestige?
Me.
I am at 4. Or
Didn't you
5
explore?
now. Yes, I'm at 5 now.
Jen, how much do you have?
6.
Ooh. Sam, how much do you have?
4.
Okay. Sam, you roll with the previous generation's die if you have a faction. So with your faction, you roll a d6. The rest of us roll a d8.
The community pool isn't my responsibility. Never mind. I forgot.
No, that's just completely washed out. That's not helping. Zoop. Da-da-da. Just sharing.
That's a 3. Good
That's
job.
a 3.
I rolled a 1. So that's
Ooh,
pretty exciting.
That's a crit success in this, huh?
Yeah, except there's no such thing as a crit success. But yeah, that's pretty awesome.
We're flipping D&D around is what we're doing.
So, Jen, what did you get? Did you roll for your faction? And Sam? Sam,
I didn't have a faction project.
You didn't have it. Sam,
Yes.
you had a faction project, didn't you?
I did.
What did you roll?
I rolled the 1d6 because I had the lowest prestige. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so I got a 3.
Awesome. And you needed a 5 or lower. Perfect. So we all succeed. So everyone who created a faction project, you gain 3 prestige. Anyone who added to someone else's that succeeded gains 1. So Jen, I think you donated to Sam, so you get 1 for that.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Awesome. For the community project, someone go to the main rules for me, please, and find out what the difference is. So I'm going to roll a d8 We have 7 points. So as long as I don't roll an 8, we're good. I'm
sounds
suddenly nervous.
You roll an 8?
Did you
rolled an
roll an
8.
eight?
I did roll an 8.
Oh!
So the community project failed, which means Inang-Uri gets hurt
By 2.
Oh,
by 2.
and I lose 3 prestige because I contributed to it.
No, the creator of the community
Oh, okay.
loses 3 prestige.
Yeah. Awesome. But what about the rest of the people? Do they lose 1?
On community projects, no. It says everyone who
Oh.
contributed gains 1 prestige. On a failure, the creator of the community project loses 3. So contributing gains you 1. Creating it and failing loses you 3.
Awesome. That's so good. I'm glad I was prestigious for a little while. Apparently, my earthy good folk had a bit of a miscommunication with the new people, and it caused quite the kerfluffle. And they left in a huff, made even more angry by the fact that the tablet they brought was taken apart and could not be put back together again.
Oops.
Oops.
So they're all annoyed. How many hit points does Inang-Uri lose?
2.
2.
2. Okay.
Gained 3 from the first generation success, though, and started with 3. So I think we're up now to 4.
We should be at 3 because we lost in HP for something. I can't remember what though.
Oh yeah, the
Transitioning from generation
yeah,
1 to
generation.
generation 2.
So yeah, we're still sitting pretty at 3.
Okay. So the player that roleplayed truest to their. So we're at the end stage unless someone wants to add more.
No.
Generally, folks at home, there'd be a lot more roleplay at this point. I'm just going to say, like, this team, we're some role players. We are trying to do the lightning round so that we can end sooner rather than later. So now you get the version of the game when people don't love the sound of their own voices.
Oh, that's a jab against me.
I mean, it's a jab against all of us, really.
I'll take it with. Hang on. I'll take it with grace.
Amazing. All right, so the player that roleplayed truest to their faction's identity gains 3 prestige as voted by their peers. So everybody can decide who roleplayed the best.
I mean, okay, so I'm gonna go real quick around and just give my thoughts on what everybody did. So the Radiant College, pretty good, kind of tackling it with an aspect of learning and magic at the same time, kind of splitting the difference between the Chronomancers and the Silent Sisters. Offered support to the Starlight Collectors, basically a pillar of the community. Very well done. The Starlight Collectors kind of sort of embodied a bit of that whole tradition, and we don't like things changing on us. I'm a little wary of you as possibly being a traitor.
Too late to accuse now.
Oh, no. This is my thoughts personally.
Yeah.
I'm not accusing, but I'm just saying, did you roll a 1 perchance? But wait, no, don't answer that because that actually comes up later, doesn't it? But I have my suspicions that they were pretty well set in their ways, and that was one of the things that we kind of established was one of the problems with this society. That said, they are people of the earth. They're just there to do their jobs and move on and go about their lives. Pretty good there too. Sam, delightful, loved it. This higher academia, quite inflated sense of self-worth and very much looking down their nose on everybody else. Out of the 3 of my compatriots, not counting myself because it's very egotistical to vote for myself for that one, I'm going to vote for Sam. I will pass it along to whomsoever wishes to hear the sounds of their own voice next.
I have to concur. Just all of the descriptions of the little girl coming out and the faction collapsing in on themselves were an absolute delight. So I also have to vote for Sam.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter what I vote for now, does it?
Sure it does. I still have to vote.
I
Yeah,
vote. It's
we
my
can make a tie.
birthday. No, just kidding. I vote it's my birthday and I rolled an 8. Give me that 3 points back. No, I'm just kidding. I think, look, I mean, Sam, you already know I love you. Like, if it's down to me or you, I guess I can't vote for myself. I guess that's supposed to be something I'm supposed to care about. No, you did amazing. I wholeheartedly support you getting 3 prestige points for your amazing skills.
Honestly, I was gonna vote for Eric. I know it doesn't matter now, I guess. But no, you did a wonderful job of the Chronomancers. I thoroughly enjoyed like the volunteering to be like experimented on to like eat these weird snakes. It was really such a joy. I like a 10 out of 10 experience for me, and you handled like the role and everything with such grace and at the same time like a gravitas, and I feel like there was so much more going on with the dude from the future, and I really wanted to know like what was going on. Like you set up such a beautiful mystery, so thank you for that, and it'll be gnawing at me for the rest of the week, but I
If you didn't catch the reference from Zlad, or if you haven't seen Supersonic Electronic, I'll send you a link later, so
Please do.
you'll see the visual description of what I was trying to channel with that.
The vibe.
Yes, you'll enjoy it, I'm sure. Sorry, didn't mean to jump in there.
No, you're good.
I mean, I was complimenting you. I would hope you would at least. I'm joking.
Please puff me up more. Shower me with praise.
Well, if
Sing my accolades.
Indeed, sir. Yes, sire. Thou art most resplendent and majestic of voice.
It is so.
See what happens when the Starlight Sisters start to talk. Amazing. Okay. So, if all generations pass safely and her health remains above 0, rejoice! By her blood, by your tears, the civilization lives for another day. So, the non-traitor faction with the most prestige wins a major victory. Were there any traitors in the group? I should ask that. I don't think there were.
Hi, I was the traitor.
No!
Were you really?
I
You're
You got to live my dream, and I'm so jealous.
okay.
And I flew under the radar?
Yes!
Yeah, you did. You just
you
came
were
I
off
thought
as...
you were sus.
You were the lovable, goofy, like mad scientist from Back to the Future.
I was trying to channel a little bit of Doc Brown. Yeah, no, that's actually why I took the camera down to the D8. I was honestly a little disappointed with that, but I was going to play it honest. I could have said that I had failed the project and tanked what I was trying to do and had some consequence for that. But I was just like, nah, damn it. I put 3 resources in it. I rolled a 3. It's a 3. I didn't break Inang-Uri by aging her up to being an adult level chimera.
Oh, that's true. You did say that.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad.
I mean, my faction called you out for that shit, but...
Yes, but we did it right and no harm fell. So my traitor was never outed, but I don't think I had the most prestige.
Okay, let's
Well,
count
you
up some
also didn't-
prestige.
Yeah. I believe. So coming out of Generation 1, I had 4 prestige. And then I got 1 for exploring the world in Generation 2. 1 for donating to the Translate Community Project. And then 3 for my Generation 2 project succeeding. So that is 9 total prestige for myself.
Awesome. All right, Jen, Sam.
I'm at 10.
I'm at 7.
Okay. I'm at 6 because I gained 3 and then lost 3.
Aww.
Womp womp womp.
Whamp, whamp.
Okay, but Sam, that makes you our winner
The major victory.
Wait.
for the major victory.
Major victory.
You know what that
Oh.
means?
Hey.
You know what that means? Your prize is it's now your birthday. D, hand over the balloon.
It's mine now.
Bum, bum, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum.
Okay, cool. I didn't even get to enact my actual plan, so I guess that worked.
What was your actual plan?
What was the actual plan?
To be accused of being a traitor in phase like Generation 1, and then to be like absolved in Generation 2 for that sweet extra 3.
There you go.
Prestige.
Still won anyways, so excellently
Yeah.
done. This was a lot of fun, by the way, especially as mentioned at the beginning of the game. This is my first time having played this, and it's a blast. I liked it.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm excited to see this when it's a group that's got more players and more time to invest into it, possibly over a couple of days, as long as everybody continues building out their boards and whatnot, taking their notes. This is goofy. I like this. This is good.
Yeah. This particular board that I'm using is free for 24 hours, and then everything gets wiped away.
Yeah.
But you can pay a fee. I don't know how much it is to keep it forever, or there might be other situations so that you could, do it over the course of several days. And hey, I'm taking a 3-week break, so y'all want to play in the server? Just gonna say. And I need one last thing from you all before we go away. Let me pull up the right page. Wait, did things go away? Sorry.
Hiccups.
There we go. Oh, why are you? Oh, there we go. Okay. Why are you only showing me some of them? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I need one of you beautiful people to roll me a D4.
A DM. Sorry. Oh, go ahead.
3.
3. 1, 2, 3. JD Badger is the winner of her very own copy of The Marvelous Children of Inang-Uri. I know she's already gone to sleep, but JD, I will hit you up later and get your email address so that I can give you this copy on itch.io.
Excellent. Have a lot of fun with it.
Yay! And if anybody wants to still contribute and donate because you fell asleep or you're coming back later or you're watching on the VOD, I'm going to leave the link up for a little while longer and see if we can't get to our goal of $450 because it's 10 times 45 and I'm an old lady.
Oh. Speaking as a chronomancer.
A traitorous chronomancer.
Very traitorous chronomancer. Don't worry about that though. Don't worry about that. Some good old classic chronomancer wisdom for you. First and foremost, everybody's heard age is but a number. But the most important thing about age is that we only grow old when we stop playing. And I am enjoying the time that we spend playing together.
Oh. All right. I think that's a great note to leave us off.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything they want to say?
What did our total donations get to?
$175.
Hey.
Which is not bad at all.
Doctors Without Borders.
Doctors Without Borders. Awesome. Great job, everyone. Internet world, we will see you next time. Look out for some more fantastic live streams with maybe even some of the people that you see here today that we played with today in the new year, probably end of January, early February. It's all still in the works. So keep it tuned, and we'll see you next time.